We are exiles of this world, and with that comes dangers like this.
For Jesus! She's coming, she's coming.
All right, guys, welcome back to this podcast. Welcome back to 716.
Yeah.
So I'm obviously getting ready for the weather. For the
sweater weather.
So today, we kind of wanted to have like a casual chit chat, something that came up. I mean, obviously, we're going to bring up a video, and that's going to be later on. We'll talk more about it later. But it has a lot to do with, just our salvation. Not our salvation, but our faith.
Our faith.
And that is the Christian way of saying our, religion, because our religion isn't really a religion. It's more of a relationship that we have with God, and we have faith that He abides with us, and He is who He is, and we believe in Him.
Everything is based off of faith.
Yes, everything is based off of that faith.
Yeah.
But with that comes a lot of dangers. It could easily be affected by the people that surround us.
Yeah.
We were actually having a conversation before, and it's tough because if you think about it, I mean, especially for millennials, and I would say even for Gen Zs, if you think about it, growing up as a Christian, it's like, who else is Christian other than the people in your church?
Yeah, well, actually, that's funny because now I'm starting to remember like what you're talking about because we talk about it a lot. So I'm what exactly are we talking about? But
I think this is one of those random car rides.
This is just, yeah. So we were talking about how like, when you're in high school, like nobody is really Christian, even though they might be, or they have had their upbringing as Christians. Like you don't really hear about it.
Yeah.
And so you kind of feel left alone.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah. I mean, for the most part, all of my high school was like, why are you Christian? Or a church, why are you at church? Or it's just constant attacks.
Yeah.
And if you let it get to you, it could very well end up being more of a, dang, why am I in church? Like, what am I doing here?
And I think especially when you're so young and you don't have that that maturity yet in all aspects, right? From spiritual maturity to just like the physical, like your age, right? Because as you start getting older, you really stop caring what other people think. Listen, take it from someone who like loves makeup.
Right.
Back then, I would not go out without any inch of like makeup. Like I had to have full face beat. Now, I mean, here is a little bit different. I do my makeup a little bit, but
I mean, you are a makeup artist though, so it's a little different. Right.
But even with that, I've been telling like clients like, I don't care if you see me without makeup. Like, this is me. But back then, everything was like super like dramatic.
Yeah.
Like everything was like, oh my gosh, they cannot see me without this. I would take hours. And now I'm just all like, why did I ever care what people think about me?
I mean, this is a side tangent, but I do remember being in the living room, just waiting, because we dated, we dated at a really young age. We started at 14, for those of you who don't know. But I remember just sitting in her living room, just waiting, like, yo, it's been like an hour since I've been here, and she's still getting ready. She's just in her bathroom doing her makeup, doing her hair, and I appreciate it because she would come out all glammed up, the early butterflies and stuff like that, and she would come out full glam.
You see, it was to look cute.
Yeah.
No, but going back to now,
yeah.
Like I now I really don't care. Same thing goes with just my faith, my belief and everything, because I just feel like peer pressure is still around no matter what age you're at.
It doesn't matter the age.
But
really
I've definitely have felt that like over the years I've just been like, listen, I believe in God. I believe in Jesus. I believe that He died for me. And if anyone were to ever ask me while I'm at work or anything, or if they ask me something fundamental that's in my life, I'm not going to say, oh, well, try to pretend like I do something when I really don't.
Yeah.
So like if people ask me like, oh, you have Sunday off, I'm like, yeah, I'm like so excited. They're like, oh, that's awesome. Like, what are you going to do? I'm like, I'm going to go to church.
Yeah.
For
a normal person, it's like.
But I'm here like, that's me. Like, this is Adrian, like she loves the Lord. And if you're not on board with that, I mean, I've also come to realize that this is just me. This is Adrian. Like, it is what it is. Whereas like back in the day, I would just not necessarily like, I don't know. I don't want to say I was embarrassed, but I definitely felt the need to fit in and to like talk about
that's what it
anything like
is.
that, right?
Yeah.
But the more, I'm sorry, go.
No. What I was gonna say, I mean, that when you're young, that's what it is. You're trying to fit in,
Right.
And sometimes people don't accept your lifestyles as a
Right.
Christian.
Right.
So what are you left with?
Yeah.
I mean, everybody wants to feel welcomed. Everyone wants to feel like they're in a togetherness. You get what I'm saying? And
It's
oftentimes
like the way we're wired, you know?
it's the way we're wired. Yes, that is exactly it. Unity. We're wired to be united.
Right.
You know, and it's unfortunate because although it doesn't happen in our church, and I'm not saying that as like the funny way, like that doesn't happen in our church.
I'm not talking to this church.
But in our
though.
church, we actually have a lot of young, and we have age groups of all kinds of age groups, right?
Yeah.
But oftentimes in a lot of churches they don't have the separate age groups, right? So in a lot of churches, what will end up happening is that there's not enough age groups like that. So let's just say a 12-year-old, right? There's no 12-year-olds are in that church, or if there's one 12-year-old, maybe they don't match, or they don't like get along.
They don't have
let's say.
Yeah.
So what that one 12-year-old is left with is, well, I only have friends in school and they hate Christianity.
Yeah.
So what do you expect from that child?
All right. They're gonna be around who they feel most comfortable with. And it doesn't even have to go with age. Sometimes it's just like who you have things in common with.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah, for sure.
Like,
I mean,
it's just so many things.
like you said before, age, this threat to our faith affects all ages.
Yeah.
Because now let's talk about a much older mother who had 3 kids, but now all kids are in college. They're living their life, and she's left alone. She's no longer a mother. She's trying to find her identity again, but her friends are people
Inviting
from
her,
the world,
yeah,
or they're
yeah.
inviting her out, or they're saying, I don't know, you should go out more. And what if she's a single mother? You should start dating. And what if she ends up dating someone who is supposedly Christian?
Yeah.
Because that's another thing we have to be careful for.
Yeah.
There's a lot of Christians that say, oh, I'm Christian, but, I'm really just here because I was looking for a date.
Right.
And then what ends up happening is you find yourself with a Christian who is lukewarm.
Which is, what is it? Is it Christian Mingle that apparently is like not Christian at all or something?
Well, actually, yeah.
That's what I heard.
So there's a lot of Christian dating sites. I mean, there's something that
there?
Lecrae is pushing out now.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, I think it's called Upward or something like that. Mm-hmm. But Christian Mingle and stuff like that, like I've heard countless bad things, like creeps that are on there.
Yeah.
I mean, they're looking. The thing is, they're looking for. Some of these people, they're looking to challenge your faith. That's a thing.
Yeah. I mean, I feel like it also depends which site you're on too, because there's the hookup ones, there's the ones that you're more serious, there's the ones, but
I mean, I've never been on any of those sites, so I don't know the detail.
Either.
I don't know the verification. Like, how do you really verify somebody's faith or someone's level of spirituality? How do you do that?
I'm sorry, I wasn't talking about that. I was just talking about like the seriousness of like how someone is about dating and stuff like that. Yeah, when it comes to being Christian, it's like, I mean, that's the part where it's all like their fruits will tell a lot, right?
Well, yeah, 716.
Yeah, their fruits will tell a lot.
You'll know them by their fruits.
And
that's what it comes down to. It's like, what are their fruits showing? So we have to be careful with whoever we surround ourselves with.
Yeah, like side note, I was listening to someone's live today, and this person was talking about how there's so many people that just want to be used by God, that have these amazing talents, they have these spiritual gifts, but outside of that, you could not even tell that they were Christian because their fruits are so like there's no love. There's no patience. There's no this, and it's like, wow.
So it almost comes to question, like, what are you really looking for when you want to be used by God?
Right.
Are you just looking to be used by God, or are you looking to have like a platform to glorify yourself?
Well, yeah, it's that, and I think like people just want the acceptance of other people and to be like, oh, that person must be high and spiritual because God uses them in this way.
Yeah.
And this goes back to a conversation that we've had, because we've talked about how like even if someone's life, let's say, is in sin, or they're just not right with God, but they're giving a word to people can still be touched in that message, because at the end of the day, his word is true.
That is true.
Right?
Yes.
So it doesn't matter. But man, she said something so good. It was something like,
Who is she? Who?
it was Joanie.
Oh, Joanie.
So,
Man, I can't wait to see her.
She was like, the person, the message will still have an impact, but not the messenger. The messenger will go home empty.
Okay.
So it's like, because at the end, God is so sovereign.
Yes, I was just gonna say
and
that.
still uses His ways anyways because His word is true.
Yeah.
And
the word is life.
Right.
The word, it's breath. You get what I'm saying? So it's like, no matter who's using it, it doesn't change the value of the word. It's just a guy
It's
or a girl
true.
that's
Yeah,
like,
that's gonna
it's
be-
like,
that's
yo,
on
like,
them.
ayaute. You get me? Like,
Right.
however your salvation is, bro, that's not up to me.
Right, but that was just like
No,
a
yeah,
side
I mean,
thing because
but
I was
this is-
listening
this
today.
is-
I was like, "Ooh, let's go!"
But no, this all kind of ties together because people think they're safe just because they're in church. You have to be careful.
Yeah.
We also have to understand that we don't go to church to find perfect people.
Yeah.
Church is the hospital. We're the sinners. We go to the hospital to be saved or, in a sense, be healed.
Right.
So there are going to be imperfect people in a church that carries sin.
Yeah.
I mean, that's not
that's
the practice.
how it should.
That's not the practice, but
Right.
it's that's really the idea. That's like the concept of trying to be saved.
Yeah.
You get me? We're trying to work at things, right? But that's why God talks about discernment.
Yeah.
You have to be able to discern who the people that
are leading,
surrounding
the
you,
people that
the people
are-
that are
yeah.
leading. Make sure the people that are leading. Make sure they're anointed.
Yeah.
You get me? Like, you can't just throw up anybody in there.
Right.
But sometimes to fill the space, we might just do that.
Yeah,
You get me?
yeah.
So it's difficult.
Well, sometimes it could be that, and it could just be lack of discernment.
Yeah.
Because sometimes something looks
Yeah,
pretty, or
that's true.
someone is a great motivational speaker, but there's
they're good
nothing,
with their words,
but there's
or they're
no
good with-
anointing there.
right?
You
But
know,
there's nothing there. And we all have to. I mean, it's tough. You
There's
get
so
me? 'Cause
much-
no one's gonna say. No one who's truly gonna go up to a person like, hey, like I see you up there worshiping God, but you from the devil. Like, nobody's gonna say
Oh my
that.
gosh.
Yeah, like, you get me? Like, unless
No.
it's like God gave you that sight, that vision. You
Right,
get me?
right.
But then there's the question of like how do you verify that?
right?
You get me? It's so tough. There's so many
Some things
gray areas.
some things you just know though.
Yeah, no,
That's
some things
where
you do, right.
the Holy Spirit's just like right then and there, and it's easy. You're just like something is not right over there. We have Miss Zena over
Yeah,
here.
she's like messing with my foot.
But I did want to go back to this whole topic we were talking about earlier about being in school and there was no one else Christian. It was for that reason that when I was 14 years old, it's funny when I think about it now because I had like recently broken up with this guy that I like loved my whole life,
Yeah.
right? And I just remember thinking like, oh God, I just want to find my husband already. And I remember praying for that. I'm like,
Which is a wild prayer at 14.
I know. I was just really I don't know if it was just like the wifey type or I just didn't want to play games in that
Yeah.
sense. So I just remember thinking like, God, I just want the next person that I'm with to be my husband.
Right.
So in my head, I also thought like, I'm just going to be single for a really, really long time. Because one, I don't like anyone from my church. Two,
That's funny.
like there's no one Christian at my school. So like I'm just finding someone of the same faith is a non-negotiable for me. And I've always said that regardless of my spiritual maturity at that age, because I feel like I was still just a Christian because my mom raised me in that way, but I hadn't developed that personal relationship with God like to that full extent. But I always knew deep down, I'm like, no, I need to find me a Christian man, or that time a Christian boy.
Yeah.
And so
Christian boy.
a Christian boy.
You found yourself a Christian man.
So yeah. But at that age, I just remember thinking like, there is no way I'm gonna find anyone.
Right.
Like there is most of our hours, 8 hours of the day, 8 to 9 hours is in school.
Yeah.
I'm like, I was just like literally like thinking in my head, I'm like, I don't think anyone in my school is Christian. And if they are, they're like really deep hiding,
Their fruits aren't showing.
yeah.
What in the world are you doing? Yeah, and it's funny because at that age, I kind of did the same prayer.
Yeah.
I mean, again, what kind of 14-year-old is really praying for their wife or their
Right.
husband for your sake? It's like what happened? Why are you guys thinking about settling down at 14, right?
Yeah,
But
yeah.
that's just what it was. For at least for me, it was kind of like I was tired of being attacked for my faith and attacked for not wanting to have sex.
Yeah.
You get me? Because it was always like, you don't want to have sex? Like, what's wrong? Are you gay? Like at that time, it was like that question was always that was always the thing. Like,
I think
like,
it's worse
oh,
for
you're
guys.
probably gay, bro.
Yeah. I think it's worse for guys
It
too.
is. It's really bad because it's
for
kind of
girls,
like a
it's not-
status.
Right.
It's to be able to lose your virginity. It's a status.
Yeah, and then now it's like now and then it's always been about like your body count and all of that, right?
Was
But-
it for you? No, it's more for
No,
females now
that's-
than it was then.
No, right, but what I'm saying in general, like there's a pride in how many people you
Yeah.
slept with and all of that. But like when I was younger, I don't think I ever had that pressure of like did you have sex or like, oh, did it happen already? But I think also even though I wasn't like the one that went to school and like preached to everybody, most people, I believe so, only because of how careful they were, the way they talked to me, knew that I was Christian, you know?
Yeah.
So I feel like at that point, like they didn't push that too much because they know they were like, oh, well, Adrian's got that strict mom. Adrian's like this. She's very like, you know, and that was another reason why I knew that I'm not going to find no one.
Yeah.
I actually remember.
Ooh, she was strict. For
Yeah,
sure.
my mama did not play games, and I remember, I remember my ex at that time. Like, didn't he tell you or something like, "Oh, good luck with her mom" or something like that?
No, I think it was another guy that was trying to.
Oh yeah,
I don't even want to say his name, but it was another guy who was really trying to like get with you.
Yeah,
and she gave him like a death stare, and that's what he mentioned. He was like, "Yo, she like she's cute, but she has a tough mom." Yeah.
And I remember being
This was
like,
freshman
"Mom,
year.
you're not gonna let me date anyone." But yeah, and then I remember also I was walking home, also freshman year. I was walking home from school, and then this girl wanted to walk home with me. I was like, "Okay, yeah, whatever." And then she was trying to tell me about some guy that liked me or something, what I thought. And I remember telling her, I'm like, yeah, I'm not really interested. I'm looking for a Christian guy. I don't think he's Christian. So, and then years later, I think like around my junior year, that resurfaced again. And it was something like, oh yeah, like, I just heard from someone else that you didn't want to go out with me because I wasn't Christian.
Oh,
I was
dang.
like, oh my gosh. But that's what I'm saying. So like, even though I wasn't super preachy about it, I think people knew. Yeah. For the most part.
That's good. That's good because for the most part, you know, like if there were Christians in our school, the ones that I know of, I probably can count on my hand.
Yeah.
You get me? Like,
I don't think
including
I knew.
us.
I think besides you,
I think I knew like 2 people or 3 people.
I didn't know anybody.
I knew 3 people, but of the 3 people, there was only one that was very Christian. Oh man, I missed that guy. He was really funny. I mean, this guy, he was Black Christian.
Yeah.
But and he would make
soul.
jokes like that.
Yeah.
He would make jokes like that, but he was Christian. You get me? Like he would talk to me about the meaning of baptism. He would talk about how he's in baptism classes and stuff like that. I mean, this was when we were younger, right?
Mm-hmm.
And then he would ask me if I was baptized, and at the time I told him I was baptized, but honestly, I told him I was like I got baptized, and I understand what it means, but I think I got baptized too early.
Yeah.
And I remember him telling me like, "Oh, you need to do it again then because you need to have full understanding and you need to know that it's like this and that it's supposed to change your life, and I can't wait because I want to be able to speak in tongues and this and that." I mean, this is what he's being taught, right?
Right.
So he was always really excited about it, but he was literally the only person, and then he moves midway through freshman year.
Yeah.
He goes to North Carolina. So it was like, dang, the only one Christian friend that I had, and he's gone.
And can I just like little pin there, but it's so bad that you just said he's the only Christian friend.
Yeah.
The fact that like people get categorized that way, but it's
Because the thing is, there are people that call themselves Christian. Oh yeah, I believe in Jesus. I mean, I go to church, but
yeah.
you know, like I still think I can like party. I still think I can like drink. Like I'm not condemned by that.
Yeah.
You know, and
So
they mix things up.
Yeah.
Right. They go with the what they call now the hyper grace theory.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know, and it really mixes things up, but it also complicates things for us as well.
Yeah. I actually, that brings me back to a time when I was in elementary school. Wow. You know what? Now that I think about it, I feel like most of my life people didn't know I was Christian, but I remember telling this one girl and telling her like, hey, like, I love God and my family loves God and we go to church. And it was just because I was trying to see, I was in first grade and I remember I was in second grade. And I remember telling her, she said, oh my gosh, me too. Like my family like loves God and all of this. And I was all like, oh wow, that's great. And then, but I remember asking her, I was like, hey, does your family drink? And she was like, oh yeah, my dad drinks all the time.
Oh my God.
And I was all like, okay, well, and then in my head, but this was second grade.
Yeah.
And I was already getting the understanding that just because you say you love God doesn't mean you actually like love God, you know? And it was like, my brain was just all like, wow, there's people like that like love God, but like live totally different. I was like, interesting.
I mean, this is how it is, and that's why when we were saying you have to have discernment, or you have to be able to like kind of like route your way around the right people,
right?
Or route your way around to the right people.
Yeah,
it's because of that. You know, it's something similar to that. I was in 5th grade when this happened to me. I got invited to a party. He was like, no, don't worry. Like my mom is Christian and stuff like that. We go to church and blah blah blah. Cool. So I tell my mom, I'm like, Ma, I want to go to this party. You know, it's their 5th grade party, whatever. And don't worry, the family is Christian. Cool. I go to this party. I remember it was like around Warrenco Park. So I ride my bike there.
Warrenco Park.
Warrenco, yeah.
Yeah.
And I ride my bike there, and they're like, all right, yeah, the party's downstairs. So I arrived late. I didn't know that I arrived late, but when I got there, they were playing Spin the Bottle.
Oh no! And at 5th grade,
bro, it was
and
the
you said
worst.
Downstairs,
huh?
And you said
it was
downstairs.
in the basement. So,
yeah.
so mom's was not there. Mom was not there. Dad was not there. Older brother was there, and he was a creep. So he was like looking at the girls and stuff like that. He was a creep. He was like in middle school, and
wow.
To my understanding, based on like my knowledge now and thinking about it, he was probably in like going through his puberty stages,
right?
Because he was being creepy about it.
Yeah.
And he was like showing us his like paintball guns and stuff like that. But
he was trying to like show off.
Here we have this really young kid in middle school who has empty liquor bottles all over his house, all over his bedroom. They're empty.
Interesting. Yeah.
I would assume the family's drinking and he's just collecting the bottles.
Right.
But where is this going to lead to?
Yeah.
So anyway, going back to the Spin the Bottle. We start playing Spin the Bottle, and they're like, no, don't worry. We're just kissing on the cheek. Kissing on the cheek led to something else.
Okay.
And then once everybody got bored of kissing on the cheek, we started smacking people's butts.
Wow.
Yeah, I was part of it. Yo, me caí.
I was tempted.
Yeah, this happens, man. This happens, you know. And so all this to say is just, I wish there was more support. Truly, like when we're in church, please be supportive, especially the older group, right?
Yeah.
Be supportive of your younger youth,
your younger generation.
You know, and the younger generation. If you're watching this, I know that my audience is mainly older, but if you're younger generation, if you guys are watching this, reach out to your older generation. We are experienced. We've gone through what you're probably going through currently.
I think sometimes there's also that thing of like, nah,
that
they don't
barrier.
know. No,
Right.
It's more of like they don't know. Like,
Or no, they
it's
have
not
this
the same.
concept. They called it old heads. So we're old heads to them, and the way we think is not the way they think.
Right, and
But
it's all
we
like
still go through the same things.
it's like we're still not same generation, but it's like we're not like double your age.
No,
We're just
I know.
like 5-6 years older, even up to 10 years older. It's
Yeah.
like not that long ago, I was probably in your same exact shoes. It's just now a different genre of song maybe is out or
Yeah,
whatever. But
you know?
we're still pretty like right there, you know?
So that definitely like we need to break these barriers that we have and come into community, because congregating is the only way that we can come close to like-minded people.
Yeah.
That's the importance of congregating. People think, oh, well, I don't have to congregate. I can just, YouTube live my church.
Yeah.
Well, that doesn't really help, because you could also walk away from your YouTube live and get some coffee, and then that coffee ends up into like scrolling on your phone, and there's really no accountability.
Yeah.
You know?
Well, that's the biggest thing that that is being noticed by ones who just want to stay on live. And I get it if like your lifestyle is just really busy and it doesn't permit, because there's been times where I'm getting out of a wedding on a Sunday and I'm heading home and I'm hearing the live and I'm receiving the word there too. But my first and primary choice is to be present. But also so there was this thing where it was like a lot of people tend to revert just to stay on live because there is no one that can, you're not under anyone. Mm-hmm. You're not under a pastor, technically. So if you need to receive...
you can say you are, but you're really not.
No. But if your pastor doesn't talk to you, if you don't see them, if they don't know you, then it's all like, if you're doing something wrong, you'll also never receive correction.
Yeah.
So there's a lot that has, it's more than just that part. It's so,
it's just deeper.
It's a lot deeper than we think it is by just watching live.
Yeah.
So,
I mean... I'm not going to say, because who am I to say that there's not a single person in this world that it's not working for them.
Yeah.
If they have that kind of structure and it's working for them, great. But the average person, more than the average person, I mean, I want to say 8 times out of 10, you're struggling to stay committed online.
Right.
Or you miss a service and there's no accountability for missing that service.
Right.
On top of that, you're missing opportunities to serve in your church. Because if you're just online... all you're doing is staying home. What are you doing for the church?
Yeah.
You get me? I finally, and I say I finally because it took me a while to sit down and actually commit to a role in my church. But I'm now committed to camera roll and the production, the visuals, basically what goes on Facebook Live
for
and YouTube Live and stuff like that.
Yeah.
So I'm helping those that can only be online, right? But I can only do so much. This gives me an opportunity to be, one, accountable to show up for 2 services, not just the one because we do 2. But it also, it's like, hey, you're a member. You're a real member of this church.
Yeah.
And on top of that, you're serving in your church. So now I'm thinking, wait, if I'm serving in this church, I'm working with my hands for God, and I'm going out of church and I'm doing this, living my best life, right? How does that look?
Yeah.
You get what I'm saying? There's really no accountability when you're staying online.
Right. Yeah. And I love the way, I don't know if anyone here remembers, but when we brought Angel in and we did that podcast with him, he said something that till this day kind of stayed with me, where he was like, it's not about keeping on check who's making the attendance, but it's more like we're all gathering for this nice big dinner and we want everyone to participate. So when our friends don't show up, it's not about oh, you're living that bad lifestyle. It's all like, man, we were going to have such a great Sunday dinner together.
Yeah.
I want to enjoy it with you because I love you as a brother or a sister, know? So it's it's a pleasure to see everyone you love in communion, enjoying God's presence together, you know?
So, congregate. It helps you. It helps you keep in check. It helps you to be with like-minded people.
Yeah.
And you keep away, what am I trying to say? You stay away from that possibility of the devil coming around and attacking you from a side that you didn't expect.
Right. I mean, that just goes to the part of just filtering your life out the way it needs to be.
Yeah.
And that's not to say that you're never going to talk to anyone who's not a Christian, because at the end of the day, our job is to evangelize and to preach to lost souls, right? But we're talking about that tight community, that the ones that when you're feeling down or when something's up, you have someone that can help you out.
Yeah.
And even just, it comes down to even music, honestly, because I feel the more and more I'm starting to filter things out of my life, it's and I'm only making it Jesus centered. It makes it so much easier to meditate on God and not forget, regardless of how busy I am, because my mind is constantly on God. It's I'm going to work, I'm listening to worship music. I'm coming back, I'm listening to a sermon. I'm this or I'm looking at The Chosen, or I'm hearing Christian podcasts. So it's my life is being filtered out to people that I know are going to benefit my spiritual life, and all of this, from congregation to just what you listen to what you watch, you are occupying your mind to the things of God.
Yeah.
You know?
I love that you said music too, because one of our friends, he mentioned to me that he started listening to worship music, and he says that it brings him a peace like no other.
Yeah.
And he doesn't understand why.
Yeah.
Right. But I mean, he's starting to pick it up, right? He's starting to pick up this understanding, but he's seeing how God can move through music. And I was telling him, I'm like, yeah, man, you gotta remember that the devil, he was once in charge of music.
Yeah.
So he knows music.
Yeah.
And he knows how to use music in order to attack us as people. So when you feel that peace, it's because he's not there.
Right.
Right? It's God. It's God moving through those words. So it's, of course you're gonna feel that peace.
Yeah.
Because it's him. It's his breath. It's his word.
Yeah. And that goes even to something simple as what happened like last week, or not that long ago. I started watching like this Netflix show, right? It's like the super secular show.
Oh,
it's
my
about
God.
like dating.
You're talking about when I woke up
when he woke up, he's like, "What are you watching?" And then I'm just not gonna name the show because but it was just like one of those dating things, right? And then I was like, "Oh my gosh, like it's so interesting." And he was all like,
meanwhile, by the way, I'm like half asleep here.
But you know what's funny? Like I had even told myself what you said.
Really?
So it's funny how that worked, because at one point I'm here like, it's cute because there's people that are actually finding themselves, people who they actually love. But in the beginning, I'm like, I don't know. I'm like, is this really like edifying me? And then I was just all like, well, whatever. And I kind of just like brush at it and see it as a big deal. But then you come in, he's all like, I don't think you should be watching that. He's all like, it's not edifying your spirit. And I was all like, I'm like, all right, God. I'm like, okay, I hear you. I hear you.
Yeah. And then I just I'm knock out. Like I straight up go to sleep. Like,
but it goes
nothing
to
happened.
show how slick like these things are and how easily they can slip, because I am someone who is congregated in church.
Yes,
I am someone who am surrounded, but just by something that might look innocent and appealing, like when you start really looking at it on that deeper level, it's all like, dang, I could do better.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it's something so simple as like, all right, snap.
And you start off saying, it's something innocent. You don't feel condemned. That famous word, I don't feel condemned.
Convicted.
No, I don't feel convicted. Sorry. Yes, that's the famous word. I don't feel convicted by this. But it's like, okay, you don't feel convicted right now, but then what you don't realize is that it's a chipping away from your Christian lifestyle or from your faith.
Yeah.
And before you know it, now you're thinking a certain way and you don't know why you're thinking like that.
Right.
It starts to manipulate you. It's kind of like water to a rock. After years and years of a single driplet onto a rock, it'll eventually start carving that rock, no matter how stubborn that rock is.
Right. Yeah.
You just have to be careful.
Yeah. And I think for me, like instantly, like I started switching back to like, okay, let me find other Christian podcasts. Because my thing is that like I'm one that likes to drive with either a show or music or something constantly like playing.
Yeah.
But I've caught up to so much that I'm like, I need something new to watch.
Yeah.
But I noticed that once I switched it, it's like my mind, my spirit, everything just like totally different. I'm just all like, wow, that's crazy.
Yeah.
Crazy how that works.
It really is. And to go a little further into this, it's also unfortunate that, I mean, I said it before, right? How we have very little support sometimes as Christians and how lonely it can be. And going back, this is why we need to congregate, because sometimes we don't even have family that follow the same faith, and kudos to those people. We actually have somebody in our chair right now. EJ, if you could introduce ourselves.
Take it away, Penny.
EJ has mentioned it several times where it's like, I wish I had more family members that congregated with us.
Yeah.
And I mean, I don't know if you want to insert yourself or insert anything.
If you want to say anything,
to
no
this.
pressure.
This is a big topic.
You might want to switch to your.
We want to see your face,
don't be camera shy, bro.
We want to see your pretty face.
Yeah, it's been difficult. I've been going to church for a while now.
How old were you when you started going to church?
I was like 20. No. I was like 18, 19.
Mm-hmm.
Just getting into church. And I remember, like, I used to pray all the time, like, you know, God, I wish I had my family here. And I remember there was a service where I think it was like a Thursday service, a Father's Day service. And, oh, man, that was rough for me. Because I was there, and I remember the pastor preaching, and he's like, you know, grab your family and hug your family. Be happy that they're here. And I was there. I was standing. Everybody's hugging their family.
Oh, man.
Oh man.
I'm like, oh man, like that's rough.
It's different.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's really rough.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I can
Right.
only imagine, yo, that what that is. Oh,
Well,
God.
that's how I felt.
Listen, bro, you do have a family with
do
us,
have a
man. You
family,
do have a family with us. And in Jesus' name, we have been praying for it. We have been asking for it. But they will come to Christ. They will come to the church. They will congregate with us.
Well, it's funny just to get.
I definitely believe it. You know, I prayed, and I remember my aunt was like trying to make a transition, and I'm like, God, please, like let them come here. Like,
Right.
Yeah.
I pray that they come here, and sure enough, they did. You know,
Yeah.
That's right. I do remember when they first came.
Yeah. My aunt and one of her sons transitioned to our church.
Oh, that's right. Yes. Now I'm out of, for some.
Now-
I was out. Sorry, I was trying to remember who it was that you were talking about.
Yeah.
And they became a big part of the church. You know,
That's
they
awesome.
started helping out with the church and everything. And
Yeah, now we have an
great.
amazing bass player
what's
too.
crazy is my cousin. You know, he goes to our church now, and he found his fiance, his future wife
his
there.
significant
that's
other.
right, yeah.
Actually, we had them on the
Wait, yeah.
podcast too.
You were there with them. So it
Yeah.
was what was
Christmas
it?
giveaway.
The giveaway podcast.
The
Yeah.
Christmas
Yeah.
giveaway where they got to be here with us.
Yeah, it
and
was
stuff.
Kevin and Sarah.
Kevin and Sarah. Yeah.
So it was really great to have them there. You know, they're doing their own thing, and I love them both.
Yeah.
Aw,
God
that's
bless them.
awesome.
God bless them in their future endeavors.
I was gonna say that.
Endeavors.
You sound like you just like fire them, bro, or something.
Yeah.
Or-
But I mean, you could see though, like it's something that everyone that's in church desires.
Yeah.
But when you don't have family members, I mean, guys, people of the church, reach out to the people that don't have family members in their church.
Yeah.
Because that's really challenging, man.
Yeah.
I mean, I can't tell you, and my family is from the church, right? So my family's, they're all Christian, right? And they all know the word, right?
Yeah.
But imagine, in me, not, and I'm not talking about my siblings or anything like that, just other family members that are surrounding, right? Other influences that can come about.
Right.
You could get affected because, and this isn't to say only them, right? But everyone around me, I felt like growing up, everyone, friends, family, whatever. I just felt like whoever it was, I just felt like everybody was like not for nothing. You know,
They
so
were
what is
sexually,
that?
what's the word?
They were Puerto Rican. They were overly developed.
Yes.
You know, so it's like, man, you know, so it's kind of like no wonder that some people fall into this addiction of pornography.
Right.
Because sometimes it's your surrounding
Yeah.
that can affect that, or that can get your curiosity to go into that.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So again, you know, being with like-minded people is one of the most important things. And guys, I actually, the both of you, I wanna show you guys a video.
Okay.
Something that to kind of react to. And it's the video that, you know, I said that I was gonna bring up. Let me just pull it up right now because I'm gonna.
So where's it
mirror
gonna
this.
show up there?
I'm actually gonna show it up on the screen here. So EJ, if you could come
Oh.
this way to the couch.
He's like, no,
Put
I gotta
it
get
on the
up.
center. Yeah, there you go. Look, Zena's already.
Also, don't mind Zena's been that is the daughter of our other dog Zuko, the one that was here last
Yeah.
time. This one's a little bit more active and more doing her thing.
Yeah, so I'm gonna put this on.
Yeah. Careful with the lamp.
So this is. So this girl has the big giant cardboard, and it's one of the friends, right? So there's 3 girls, and he says it. He reads it
Three
right now.
girls walk into a comedy show. One pregnant, one divorced, and one virgin.
So right away, one of the friends are pointing out the virgin.
Yeah.
Virginity is something that's like unheard of, especially in a secular crowd. It's like a virgin.
Yeah.
Everybody ignored the fact that one is divorced, and everybody ignored the fact that one was pregnant.
Right.
So they go into that, and now, let me just go with this. So he takes that
in one way or another. That's amazing. Jesus Christ. Who's the virgin? Aww. How old are you?
So right away, they're singling her out. The whole joke is about to be about her.
Wow.
23.
Who's 20?
God, get it together.
See? You see what I'm saying?
This is Arizona. There's some 23-year-old grandmas in here somewhere.
23-year-old
Just also,
grandma's
I don't
in
know
here
if you
somewhere.
have that. Yeah.
That's wild, bro. And so it's about to be a whole joke
And
on
you know,
just her.
Meanwhile, like, that is such a beautiful thing to know. Like, if she's someone who has saved herself, like, imagine, like, that's something to actually be praised.
Yes.
But here
100%.
it's being taken as a joke.
100%, but it's something that only we can look at.
Yeah.
You know, so she's the butt end of a joke.
What's the hesitation?
Oh, there you go.
You're waiting till marriage will you're gonna die alone. Oh no. You gotta do it. It's so much fun. It's a good time. It's like $100. Like,
It's talking about prostitution there.
It's not even that big of an investment, really, depending on where you look. Are you single now? No. You seeing somebody now?
Yeah.
How long you been with this guy?
1 month.
1 month? Does he know?
Dang.
Yeah, because it's like who's in a relationship for 1 month at that age and not having sex.
Right.
You get me? Again, it's just I know I'm just repeating myself, but this guy has no understanding of what's going on for her.
Yeah.
At least I think so. We think.
Marriage to have sex. And he's sticking around. He's lying. Because I know that dude's mindset. He's like, yeah, of course, no pressure. But in his mind, he's like, I'm going to break this down.
And you know what? That happens a lot in churches.
Yeah.
That's why I was saying before, it's like, yo, whoever you're dating, especially for the females, because guys can be deceiving. I mean, guys, they're tricky, man. They're calculated when it comes to having sex.
Yeah,
They're clever.
You
They know what they want. They know how to get it, and they're gonna break you down. That's why I was saying for some guys, it's a turn on to get a good girl to go bad.
Yeah. Well, this actually goes back to me being in school and saying, like, I'm never going to find anyone, because that was also a non-negotiable for
Right.
me. And I remember thinking, like, who's going to want to be with me and wait?
Exactly.
You know?
Yeah.
That's like a thing that people push onto you too.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
like, oh, you're 18, like you should be able to do it now. Like,
Oh yeah, not 18, bro.
Yeah.
You're 14. What are you waiting for?
Right.
true.
Yeah.
And for us, it was like, oh, you guys have been dating for a year. Like, have you guys had sex?
yeah,
No.
It's like, oh, you're gonna wait before college. Oh, you're gonna do it during college.
Yeah,
oh, you're really
like-
gonna wait till marriage.
Yeah,
Right,
bro.
yeah.
They don't
Question is-
understand that.
So-
and a big part of it too is, like you were saying earlier, the people who you surround yourself with, right, is a big part of like who you become.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and we've spoken before that was like a sociology thing.
Yeah.
I've also taken sociology class, and they tell you that the bigger the groups, the bigger the group that you're within, is what's gonna affect you. So like when you go to school,
That's the bigger group,
Work
yeah.
is a big one. Church and your family.
Yeah.
Like, these are the groups that are gonna form you.
Yeah. Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
All right. So there's still another portion of this that I wanna.
Is it because of religious reasons? What's your religion?
I'm a Christian.
Christian? Okay. There's some other Christians in here who also love like, you can be both.
You see
You
that?
can be both.
yeah.
Look.
That's not that crazy. All right, relax. Jesus Christ.
So what I'm seeing here is this girl's Christian, right? She has friends, and the friends told her, let's go to this comedy show. Don't worry about it. Let's just go. We'll have fun. It's going to be like just a casual thing. But then she puts out a big old sign. Look at my friend. She's a virgin. Let's make fun of her.
Well, yeah, that's the other thing, because I have seen some of his stuff too, and I've noticed though that like some jokes get like overly
Over the top.
sexualized,
Over
or
the
I'm just
top.
like, whoa,
Yeah,
this is like
yeah,
really
that's-
extra, you know?
It seems like that's just a big thing in the whole comedy
Comedy thing, yeah.
you know?
Yeah.
But what I'm saying is like
Excellent.
but I'm saying like for someone who is Christian, you know, first of all, anybody that buys tickets knows that when you're sitting up front, you are.
No, this guy specifically does crowd work.
No, I know he does, but if you look at it, he does mainly crowd work from the front. That's every comedian's thing.
Okay.
Every comedian always says, like, when you're buying a ticket, the first front row people, whoever's up front, you're most likely to get made fun of.
Right.
You know, so you're Christian, you're surrounding yourself by people who are making fun of your sexual status, if you will, and then you're going to this. Like, where was your head at in the beginning?
Right.
You know?
It's kind of like, what are you doing? What are you doing there?
Right.
So look, check this out. Actually, this is not important. Let's fast forward.
Yeah, let's fast.
It's a personal choice. All right. Well, that's your decision.
So she's saying it's a personal choice.
Do it. Wait as long as you want. I would like to talk to your current boyfriend.
So kudos to her, right? She at this point she's really strong. She's saying, you know, I'm a Christian. I have no shame. Yada yada. She's I would say she's doing really well as a Christian. And if she didn't feel convicted going into this comedy show to begin with, then whatever, that's on her, right? But here it gets twisted. I'm gonna fast forward. In this part, somebody gives him a gag gift or a gift, right? And this gift is a phallic shape. And this shape is an edible shape. Right. So he goes over, and you'll see he goes over and he tries to give it to a crowd.
For a girl
someone
to
in the
eat
crowd.
it.
To an older lady.
Yeah.
Well into her age.
The virgin.
And everyone shifts back to the virgin.
Oh no, go back and then.
No, I'm trying to feed it to the virgin, dude.
So this is what he's trying to do.
Just the tip. One bite. Come on.
Look what he says.
Do it. For Jesus. She's coming.
For Jesus. Bro, you don't know how bad that made me cringe. And she gets up anyway. That is the biggest red flag.
Yeah.
How dare you get up anyway?
Yeah.
You know what? Let me. I'm getting too upset, and I'm getting into my emotion here, because first of all she's peer pressured. There's tons of people around her, but this is that part where it's like, yo, we have to be careful with who we surround ourselves with and what we say yes to.
That's so sad.
Because we will fall. It doesn't matter how strong you think you are. Doesn't matter how unashamed you think you are. You will fall if you surround yourselves around a big enough group that hates the fact that you're a Christian person.
Like you said, this is a big red flag of who she is, right? Or it's a big red flag.
The situation.
Right.
What I'm trying to say is this is a big red flag, right? This kind of shows like where you are with your faith.
Yeah. Who knows? She probably thought she was strong enough. Let's just assume that she
did.
did.
The fact that she was defending herself.
Let's just assume that she thought she was strong enough. Like, I'm going to go to the show. Nothing's going to happen. I'm Christian. I know where I'm at. I know, I love my boyfriend, whatever.
Well, if that would, that's the thing. Like, just because you're strong doesn't mean anything. I mean, the word itself says in Spanish, cuidado el que se cree firme, que no caiga. Be careful for all who... I don't know how to say it in English. For those who believe they're strong, that they may not fall.
Right. What verse is that?
That is.
Let's just look that up.
I actually have a couple Bible verses that I want to share.
Let's look up that verse real quick. We'll.
Okay.
So it says, wherefore let him that thinketh he standeth take.
All right, wait.
Oh
pause.
no, not the King James version.
Yeah, I'm sorry, I just read the first one that I picked.
You better skip that version.
That was better. Change the version.
NK
version.
Let me go to the NKJV.
little fresh.
I just read.
Look at that. You got Zena all worked up. Zena, sit down.
Zena, come here. That capith. It's funny because I did that.
I don't understand it.
Therefore, let him who thinks he stands take heed lest he fall.
Yeah. And actually, because that was Corinthians, right?
Yes.
1 Corinthians. There's actually something that I have here too. where it is found in 1 Corinthians chapter 33. So I brought this because I know we all like love to use our phones, but lately I've really been getting into the studying version of this, and I just like love a lot of these footnotes. It just gives me even more clarity. So in 1 Corinthians chapter 15 verse 33, it says, "Do not be deceived," meaning you could be deceived, right?
Right.
Bad company ruins good morals.
Yep.
The footnotes here says bad company. The Greek term behind this word can also refer to a spoken message. By word example, bad or evil friends are a corrupting influence. Hope in the resurrection is sanctifying. It leads to godly living, not corruption. Some in the church did not know God and were corrupting influence, but not for those
this
who
is
hold,
all the things that we were talking about.
but not for those who hope for life in God's presence. You know, and this goes back to, he said it in there like, oh, how many Christians in here
That love phallic shapes.
Yeah. Right. So
You know, and they all start cheering.
right.
Come on,
Yeah.
bro. That's so.
The fact, no. The fact that he said, "Do it for Jesus," that was like,
pissed me off. Because you know what? Like, I'm not saying that the devil got into this man and possessed him and possessed everyone in the crowd. And
No, but the devil-
But you know what? You went into a world that is made for secular activity.
No, I don't
These
think
people are just being them. They're doing what they do.
Right.
Why are you there as a Christian?
Right.
Yeah.
It's like going into a bar as a Christian and
then
they're like
expecting
pushing
that
you
to,
like, hey, take a shot.
right.
Yeah, man. It's not gonna work out that way. And so I'm really not gonna continue on with the rest of this video. She gets up. We ultimately know what the end result ends up being. Why is my English not working with me right now?
English isn't Englishing.
My English isn't Englishing. We know what ends up happening, right?
Yeah.
This is a phallic shape that's edible.
That's
Let you play it out, right? So EJ, could you actually read 1 Peter chapter 2 verse 11 for me?
Yes, I got you. So it says, "Dear friends, I urge you as foreigners and exiles to abstain from sinful desires which wage war against your soul."
Yep.
Yeah.
And that in itself, we are exiles of this world, and basically we are citizens of heaven, not of this world.
Yeah.
Okay? And when we accept Jesus into our heart, this sin, this war that goes against us, it's to break us, right?
Yeah.
What she doesn't realize and what all those people don't realize is that there was a spiritual warfare going on in that room.
Oh man, they were like after her soul.
For real.
You know, they were
For
after
real.
her foundation, like
And
everything.
he knew he got her as soon as
Yeah.
he said, "Do it for Jesus."
Right. No, and yeah, I know that part still gets me. And I think that like you could just tell he was just like poking and poking at it. And I know you were saying before, like, well, I'm not saying that he's possessed. And,
Right.
you know,
I mean,
obviously we don't know.
We don't truly know
We
that
don't
he's
truly
not demonic. I mean, I'm not going to say he is.
Right. We're not going to say that everything, but this is just one of those things where it's all like the devil can use you in a moment. I mean, when you see how Jesus tells Peter, like, "Depart from me, devil."
Yep.
And this is one of his disciples, you know, but it just goes to show that like if you're not careful, you can get used in that way to do like what the devil's will is, right?
For sure.
But it's honestly really sad to just see the fight for her soul. That's just what I saw.
So in Colossians 3, verses 1 and 2, it tells us Christians who are raised in Christ, we need to seek the things of God.
Yeah.
We can't go after the worldly things, the things of this earth. And if you skip down to 5, it even says to let those things die, basically, those desires die.
Yeah.
And it's because we need to be separated. We, again, you know, going back, we are citizens of heaven.
Yeah.
And that's the only way that we're going to keep ourselves, keep our faith in check, keep our faith safe,
intact.
Yeah. Whatever it is, right? It's to keep our faith. Mm-hmm. But going to comedy clubs, going to bars, going to these things because you don't feel convicted, that's not going to help you out.
Yeah.
That's not going to help you out.
Yeah.
Be real with yourself. There's only so much you can do. There's only so much strength you can have.
Yeah. And I mean, at the end of the day, we're made of this.
Yep.
We are made of human flesh and we still have desires that if we don't keep ourselves in check, then the devil can use that to bring you down.
Or have people who can help us keep in check.
Right.
Not people who are going to tell us to take us to, that are going to invite us to a comedy club and hold a sign saying, hey, look at my friend, she's a virgin.
Well, I mean, so bad. But I remember, I know I've mentioned it before in the podcast, but I remember the time that like we broke up and stuff, and I had this particular friend who she was trying to get me to smoke,
Right.
knowing that I was a Christian,
Right.
and like knowing that I wouldn't, but it was just like, it's always like, oh, maybe because she's like in this state of like heartbrokenness and all of that, maybe she'll
It
give
was like
in.
a test of your faith.
Yes, and that's what I feel like it was with this girl too, you know, except after so much going after it, it's like
Right.
she just gave in.
Right.
Sometimes it's not even like, oh, let me try to get her to come because she's going through this thing. Sometimes people are very bold.
Yeah.
Very bold. Like I had a friend, right?
Yeah.
In high school, right when I joined my youth group, I told her about it, and she asked me too. She's like, "Oh, what are you doing this Friday?" And I'm like, "Oh yeah, you know, I started going into this church. I'm going to the youth group." And she's like, "Oh, that's nice. So we're having a party."
Oh my
It
gosh.
just went right over your head.
Right.
Yeah, they're like,
Right.
anyways.
Right. Yeah. And that actually happened to our friend Mario. You know,
Yeah.
like he told me one time, it was like the minute that he left that lifestyle, that's when his friends wanted to start inviting him even more.
Right,
You know, but
yeah.
again, it's kind of like let's see how far they can go or how long they can stay in this new Christian lifestyle
Yeah.
before we can crack them or before we can get them back. Or
Right.
some of them will be like, they're going to come back.
Yeah.
You know, they'll think negatively about that. But a lot of people, for the most part, people of this world, people who deny Christ, and I'm talking purposely deny Christ, they want to see other people fall. They want to see that Christianity to them, their eyes, and to other people's eyes was never really good,
Like,
or
it's
it
just
didn't
dumb
work
for
out
them.
because
Yeah.
it didn't work out for them. They want to make sure that it doesn't work out for anybody else.
To add on to that too, it's like there's also people that they are lukewarm and they need lukewarm friends as well.
Yeah.
They don't want someone to keep them accountable for whatever they're going through. So they need someone who will be Christian with them when it's time to be Christian,
Yeah.
and will also go
It's kind of
clubbing
like
and partying with
they
them.
want to live this sinful, balanced lifestyle.
Right, which is crazy, right?
Yeah, I mean, this is the world we're living in, you know. But ultimately, this is all to really just to say, like, guys, if you're congregating, check out for the members that are in this church. Also, members of the church, be careful with who you surround yourself with. I mean, I know a lot of us, we're adults, but even us
That
adults,
doesn't mean-
that
that
doesn't
doesn't
mean
matter,
anything. Let's
yeah.
not tell ourselves, I know, and then end up falling.
Right.
You know, we can all fall in any status, in any time of life.
Yeah.
Because the devil doesn't sleep. You do.
Yeah. Yeah. It's
That's
true.
ultimately what it is.
Right. And
You
no,
know?
and for those that might be in this lukewarm stage, this goes back to, like, you know, we are human and we can have a moment of falling, but God is so gracious.
Oh yeah.
And
don't feel like you can't come back either.
right, because I feel like sometimes people get really stuck in that stage of like, okay, but like I'm still dealing with certain things.
Yeah,
you
because I know some people will say, "Oh, well, I can't go to church because I don't feel right.
Right.
Like I don't feel like I'm worthy enough to go to church." But really, none of us are.
Yeah.
None of us are. We're all there trying to become better people in Christ.
Yeah.
We're all there trying to live this perfect lifestyle, walk like Jesus.
Yeah.
But we're sinners on the way there.
And we're so far from being perfect. So far.
Yeah, really. And so if you're saying this to yourself where I can't go to church yet because I'm not ready, because I know that I'm going to fall, or whatever the case may be, believe me, you're not going to get any further into your faith if you don't start going to church.
Yeah.
Going to church is that actually accepting God into your life and reconciling with the Lord is the first step. And
Reconcile, I think it is. Reconcile.
I am. My English is all over the place today.
Wait, but
Reconcile.
I almost got that wrong. So I was
No.
wait, is it
Reconcile.
reconcile?
Yeah.
Yeah.
My English is really not
It's not
Englishing.
Englishing today. It's
But
okay.
anyway, whatever your story is, the fact is, congregate.
Yeah. It's tough because I know that like people will have like this whole argument and all of that, but like just going back to so many different podcasts, and I feel like the same message that we keep on talking about is just the importance of unity, the importance of being surrounded by like-minded individuals,
and the strength
being
in numbers.
equally yoked, not just with your partner, but with your friendships, you know, like there's just so much that goes into it. I think had that girl in that video been surrounded by different people,
she wouldn't have been there.
She wouldn't have been here. She wouldn't have been there. She wouldn't have been singled out like that by these other friends who are pointing that out because they want her to lose her virginity.
Right. You know what? I'm not trying to listen. Her story is her story. I don't know what she did when she came back. I pray that she is living a Christian lifestyle. I pray that God saves her. I pray that she felt convicted afterwards and she repented of her sins.
Maybe that's just part of her story, and then she'll learn from that.
Seriously.
Because imagine also, and like, I don't mean to keep bringing up the video, but it's just like crazy because here you think you're going to something innocent, but now not only were you singled out, but also your faith was put to test, and now this thing is everywhere because his videos go viral on TikTok.
Oh yeah.
So if that was made like a big point, like of her of the comedy show that night, I'm pretty sure his TikTok has it, and now her face will always have that. Like she'll always be reminded of like, dang, like I really did that.
Yep. And sometimes when those specific
sometimes
things,
you need that because like sometimes that's what you need to have that wake up call.
Yeah.
Ah,
man. You know, I also, you know, I want to make sure that nobody is thinking that I'm singling. Although, yes, we are singling her out because unfortunately she singled herself out by doing that.
Yeah.
I'm using this video more as an example because she's not the only person that goes through this.
Right.
Plenty of Christians are getting invited to the club. Plenty of Christians are falling into this trap that the devil forms within parties, clubs, comedy nights, sometimes even in the church or youth gatherings. Careful with those youth gatherings without supervision, especially when you're young.
Yeah.
The devil dwells and he is there. He does not sleep. But all right, guys, that is it for this episode. I wanted to use this video as an example, like I said. But really it's also to bring awareness to this idea of, you know, we need congregation, we need unity, we need to be congregated and really
surrounded by the right people.
But it's not only that, within your own church, you know, look out for the other people, the other members of the church.
Yeah.
You know, look out for your brothers and sisters because we all need to be united. Make sure that there's nobody alone. Make sure that there's a place where someone can reach out to, you know, in the need of help or whatever the case may be. You know, so that's really the purpose of this video. We truly hope you guys enjoyed it.
Yeah.
If you guys did, please let us know in the comments. Hit that like button. If you haven't subscribed already, subscribe for us right away. Because
yes, please.
We need that help.
Yeah. Also, make sure you're following us on Instagram. And we actually just started. Yeah, we
We're
actually started
updating our
going on
TikTok,
TikTok. We're getting there little by little. You know,
we're trying to keep up.
716
Yes.
everywhere, all across.
716 podcast.
Oh, 716 podcast all across. Okay. But that is basically it, guys. Thank you again so much. Stay tuned. We've got more coming through, and we'll see you guys on our next video.
Bye.
Bye.
All right. Yeah. Let's go. I want to play some party animals.
Party animals.
Animal party.
Party animals.
Oh, no, party animals. Oh, we're still recording it.
Very good. My easy bitch.
Yeah.